How does storytelling um, cross paths with what you're doing, the journey that you're on now?
Yeah,
Uh, is it related to what you might explain a little bit what you're doing now?
like it has nothing to do with my journey, but when you walk in India, you meet people, a lot of people, and those people are from very, very different walks of life. And like I really like talking to old people. I make sure I talk to the old people on the way, and the conversations are never guided. Like they depend on the mood, my mood, on the person mood, how the weather is, what kind of chai is we're sharing, and then we always end up talking about the past. We always end up talking about topics like God, topics like love. And when you put such, like, let's say where we talk about God, only way to talk about God is like through stories of God, the adventure God has done. Like God has been the most adventurous person, let's say person, because
Maybe we should back up just a little bit and explain that you're on a journey of walking from in India. You're called what is you're called your Facebook page is called
yeah, it's called Nowhere Human.
Nowhere Human.
Yeah, and if you like split it into, like Nowhere Human is now here, like now here. And so when I started it, like it was very interesting when the idea came, but I never like it came actually when I was studying, doing my masters. So I was in second years of my master. I was actually partying in Bandra with like few of my friends. Like I always wanted to have that life, like nice luxurious life, like where I can just do all the cool things what city people does. So when I was doing my masters, I was doing all those things. So one day, like we were really drunk, and then I slept at some friend's house. It was a nice big, like really big apartment with AC 16 degree. I still remember it showed 16 degree. And then, like at early morning at 5, I woke up. Like I slept at 4, and I woke up at 5 only. And then I see everybody sleeping, and then I kind of like, wow, you made it to the elite life. And the moment I said like, wow, you made it to elite life, I'm like, but man, this is not you though. What do you think? Like, what do you think was you is not you. So what you wanted to have was never the thing you actually needed. And then I kind of felt like my whole life has been a joke, you know, like big lie. And then I came out of the apartment and started taking a walk, and there's a sea nearby. So I am walking on the road, like there are some people sleeping on the road, the people sleeping in the auto rickshaw, there are people sleeping in the taxis, and they're like these very rich people in very like comfortable clothes of different pinks and reds and all these colors. They have the most most comfortable shoes, and they have white Apple earphone plugged inside there. Some has Bluetooth, and they're going for jogging. So all this diversity of people, and I'm walking among them. And
Was this the first time you noticed something like this, or did you notice it before? But you
like initially there was only one kind of experience. Let's say the lack of everything kind of experience I had. So because there was lack of everything, I wanted to have everything.
okay?
So, and then there was like you have both. Like there was lack, and now you have plenty. And then you are floating, like in lack and in fulfillment. So I could relate with those people who are sleeping on the street, because there was a point in my life where I have to like struggle with everything. There was nothing, and then I was doing that kind of people, like I was being that sort of person who has like same nice shoes and everything, and then I could sense a little bit of what they might be going through. I could sense a little bit of what these people who are sleeping on the road. Like I was everybody.
Yeah.
So I was like then who is this? Suddenly I said to myself, I'm the nowhere man, you know, like who is everybody but nobody. Like
And how long ago was this?
it was in I think 2014 when I was finishing my masters.
2014. Okay.
Yeah, it was I think month of January, I guess.
And then from there, that's the idea that developed.
The idea developed, but then I buried it down. Like I kept somehow that night remained, but life was going the way it was going. And then I finished my masters. Then I worked for a while because I needed to pay my education loans and everything. And then when I was alone again, like when I left my job and everything, that night again came in front of me, like that that realization I had on that night. So obviously that night remained, like even though 1 year went by, but then again I was standing same way, and then things happened.
Such as?
Yeah, such as like I tell you how, like I used to travel a lot. Even when I was studying, I started like organizing tours, like with on my own. So that will only like I will never make profit, but that will save my travel and food money. So for example, I'm arranging trip of 20 people. So that includes my courses covered as well. So I was taking my classmates and like people who are studying to the like for 1-2 days trekking, but that was like nothing. So and then I made some like really good friends from different parts of the world. So with them I was traveling a lot. So even in my masters, like when everybody's like, I studied social entrepreneurship. So we have to start our business idea at the end of second year. So when everybody's like trying to build their business proposal, I'm trying to figure out where should I go next, you know, like
Yeah.
which place, not like where in the like my life I should go next. All I'm thinking is like what better place I can go. So like I was always like traveling somewhere and here and there. My classmates were few of them were really nice. Like in group assignments I will never do anything, but they still will write my name. So I want to thank them. And so somehow, but when I finished my masters, I got a really good job. Like I was studying this subject, social network analysis. So I was like close to that professor, and he found that I'm very interested into that subject. So I never needed to make a CV. So I got like really good job, and then I got to travel in Bihar, and which is very different from traveling in other touristy place. So that place also gave me like different sense of like different modes of traveling. Like it was more slow. I was talking to very educated people, especially like health professionals and everything. Their perspective on life, like, and I was talking to a lot of doctors. So, and I think doctors are really enlightened people because they they see death on everyday basis. So they kind of understand what it means to be alive.
Yeah.
And in all the interviews I was having with people, even though they had nothing to do with death, like over the chai conversation after the audio recorder was shut down, we will end up talking about life. And because I was young and they were old, I don't know whether they see some spark in me, or like I don't know, they will always end up telling me, advising me that how important it is to live. And because people were telling it very consciously, and there was already some idea there, you know.
You mean they were telling you it's important to live according to to live life according to what
Yeah, it's
is important for
like
you?
I think human cannot live without having a meaning in their life, you know. And so some of the people, like all of them like doctors, some of them like even though they were doing very noble job, some of them couldn't make meaning out of it, even though they loved what they were doing, but some deeper meaning they couldn't make out of it. And they were like people who were doing the same profession for like let's say 30 years, and they could tell me their journey of like let's say someone 50-year old telling a 23-year-old guy like how he was born, her how her teenage was, how it was when he got married, how it was when she got kids, And then when you get to know people of different age and experiences, uh, you get a different sense of about your life, about your age, about the things you should do, things you shouldn't do. So I never knew the things I should do, but somehow I always knew what I shouldn't be doing. Like, and it was always like I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now, and I shouldn't be going with popular belief like 20 places to visit or the dream job we should have. So that idea of wanting or being cool started vanishing. It didn't go like in a moment, but with more conversation and with more alone time with myself, it went. And then I started like taking some steps. Like I started traveling, obviously, and everything started from like traveling. The more you move, the more you settle down. Actually, right?
Nicely said.
So
And when you can you talk a little about when you started this journey of walking? Like,
Yeah.
where did you start? And maybe
last year I walked from Banaras to Gomukh around like 1700 kilometers.
1,700 kilometers.
Yeah. And this year, like on May 14, I started my journey again. So, so
Today's tomorrow, right?
May 14, I think it's June. This is June, right?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So May 14, I with few of my friends, we left from the same place. I was here before for 2 months, and we took a cab to Gangotri, and then we trekked to Tapovan, and from there I started my walk. So from Tapovan I came all the way down to Rishikesh. So like so far I've walked for like 3 weeks, around 350 kilometers, and it's only been like 3 weeks, but a lot has changed in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think the principal change has been?
The principal change has been like in my all my previous journeys and in all my life, I had doubts over me. Like, what if this happened? What if I don't get what I need? What if like there was a lot of what if, and there was lot of sense of doing it for the like it was like what if I don't finish? There was that fear initially in my previous journeys.
What if you don't finish what?
Like what I have started?
Any project or?
Like let's say I'm gonna ride along from Delhi to Bombay, and I had like fears. What if I give it up on the way? There were fears, even though I always finished them. But now it's like there's no what if. There's no doubt, because like I know if I have to leave it on the way, I won't feel bad about it. Like, because I think for me now my life is not about proving anything anymore. It's about what I learned from the experiences I'm gonna have, and it's more about like not going to the decided place, but it's about where my experiences will lead me. So if my experiences lead me to that you have to get married, I might get married. And if my experiences tell me no, you have to go and sit alone in the woods, then I will go and sit alone in the woods. If my experiences tell me that I have to make films, then I will go and make films.
Did some of those fears come up from expectations and pressures around you, from family, friends?
It comes from like not from the expectation in my case. It comes from the insecurities I had in my life. They were more of like, what if someday like the world comes to an end, it's like your whole life didn't mean anything to the world. So there were those kind of expectation. Like I always had this dream of dying great, like that I will die great.
Sinbad.
Yeah.
Sinbad, right? And the sword. Huh?
Yeah. So Sinbad was different kind of great. Like he never aspired for greatness. He was like just one. He was like Jack Sparrow, right? I mean, Jack Sparrow is a little badass, but
He had no fears, huh?
yeah, he had no fears,
Really?
and
Okay.
he has no. Like he only thing Jack Sparrow wants is his ship, right? And he just wants to sail.
But did you ever see him when he turned the cameras off? Wow.
No, I haven't seen him.
He fell apart.
Yeah.
No.
Uh.
Continue.
Yeah. So for me, like there was still some sense of accomplishment that, like,
What
if
is about? Was it about dying and leaving something behind, or moving on, leaving something behind, or just about people saying, "Wow, that was a great human being"?
it was more about saying, like, I always want to remember me as well, like, wow, this guy actually lived, before dying he actually lived.
Okay.
So I always had this belief that that's how people should talk about me. That this guy, he was such a badass, but he lived. Like, I mean, he was like, he lived the way he wanted, and he died the way he wanted. So now I kind of feel sad about it that I don't feel it anymore. that, but the good thing about it is, even though I don't feel it that way, it doesn't make me lazy. Like sometimes when you don't want much, you become very lazy. So it's very interesting that even though I don't feel a sense of like achieving or doing something, now I'm doing the lot of things in my life. I never written so much before in my life. I'm trying to make films, and
Does it free you up? Not achieving, quote unquote, not achieving, or not worrying about achieving. Does it actually give you more, provide you more freedom?
so not the absolute freedom, obviously. I think the absolute freedom in the moments of freedom I had were when I was really silent. I think, like, let's say when I'm with Ganga and just don't have to bother about anything when I'm into lots of thinking mode, and that thinking mode goes to that point when I stop thinking, and then I just like, I'm amused by everything.
Ah,
that I find it quite liberating, like, because that moment goes, some other things come, and that event never breaks. So, and there's no meaning out of it. Like, I don't make meaning out of anything. It's just the way it is, and I don't exist, and I don't know.
You mentioned God earlier. I'm just wondering, like, when you're at the Ganga or you're in some form of walking meditation or sitting down or the amusement, if you will.
Mhm.
Can you elaborate a little more about your perspective about what you feel God, or what is it? What is God to you? You mentioned. I only bring it up again because you.
That is my question, though. What is God to you?
Ah.
So I don't know. Again, like, before that Ganga trip, I was very rigid about all the ideas of that something unknown is there. Like, because I grew up in a family who firmly believed that there is some God, but they never told me what it is. They will just tell me, like, go to temple, you will find God. Like, go to temple, put your head and come back. They never said like go to temple to find God, you know.
Okay.
So it's also like how they teach you, you know. So the way I was taught about God was like they never told me to find it. They told me to just to believe that there is God. You have to see it. They never tell me about it. So I never made an attempt to find my God. So I'm kind of like questioning the way I've been brought up by. So, but now I have feelings about some things. I don't know.
So it's yet to be discovered, maybe, or it just takes more time to.
I think one life is